Hello, 7th grade, and welcome to your notes today. I'm going to be doing it via paper slideshow. So, here is the Law of Reflection, a paper slideshow by Mrs. Chase. Here's a mirror. A mirror is any reflective surface. So mirrors are not only the things you see in a bathroom, but it could also be the backside of a DVD, or sometimes a window can be considered a mirror because it can show a reflection in certain light. So in our drawing, every time you see this blue line, that's our mirror. On any flat mirror, if you were to draw an imaginary line perpendicular to that mirror, meaning the imaginary line and the mirror create a 90-degree angle, that imaginary line would be called your normal. I'm going to represent the normal in my drawing with a dotted line that is always perpendicular to the mirror. Again, this line doesn't represent anything other than a perpendicular. It's imaginary. It's not a light ray. It's not any sort of physical thing. This is an imaginary line. If you were to be standing in front of the mirror on the normal and looking at the mirror, your reflection would bounce back directly at you, the same angle at which it hit the mirror. Now, here's our mirror, here's our normal, and here is light coming in towards the mirror at an angle. This is called our incident ray. An incident is like something that happens. So when the light is coming in, it's something that's happening, and that's our incident ray. It comes in at this angle, and then when it reaches that normal and hits the mirror, it's going to bounce off and be our reflected light ray. That's how we see things in a mirror. That light has to be reflected. So the light bouncing off the mirror is the reflected light ray. The light coming in towards the mirror is our incident ray. The incident ray creates an angle with the normal. So I know you've learned about angles in math. So we have our normal as one of our lines, and the incident ray is the other one, and it makes angle X. That angle has a vocab word in science. It's called the angle of incidence. So the angle at which the incident ray makes with the normal is our angle of incidence. The same thing happens on the other side of the normal, where that angle of reflection, the reflected ray, makes an angle with the normal, and I called that angle Y. Both of these angles are acute angles, and that's our angle of reflection. So the rays that come in and bounce off make an angle with that normal, that imaginary line that we created in the beginning. What's special about the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection is that those two angles are exactly the same. So you could predict, if you knew the angle at which light was coming in towards a mirror, you can accurately predict the angle at which that reflected ray will bounce off that mirror, because you know that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. That's the law. The law of reflection states that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Scientific law. The end. I've created a very similar diagram for you in a Google drawing. It is a template. You can click in each box of that Google drawing in that template and type in the vocabulary words that I shared with you today. You can rewatch this video, pause along the way, as many times as you need. Thanks, 7th grade. I care about you.